As I'm sure many of us know already, our culinarian friend Warley here will soon be bringing his delights to another realm of the constant don't starve together. Due to this, I did feel like waiting was the smart idea, but oh man. Folks seem to rally behind the notion of a solo character guide, and who am I to deny the people what they want? So today, we will cover Warley, but I may choose to refrain from a deep dive simply because he is likely to see many changes in but a week's time. However, what won't change is Warley's lust for munchies. Our French chef here is so into the wonders of food that he himself spawns with a portable crock pot that can't be picked up and placed when or if he needs it. You can cook all the bloody recipes you already put to memory within it, but Warley here brings his own to the table, and we are gonna have ourselves an early lunch. Likely the easiest of the bunch, sweet potato souffle is created via sweet potatoes, duh, and a combination of eggs. And at its base, the dish restores 20 health, 37.5 hunger, and 15 sanity a munch. It's quite good for something so incredibly easy to make. Next up, Monster Tartar. Also very easy. Just toss together 2 jellies, a veggie of most any sort, and an egg for a food item that heals for 3, fills you up for nearly 40 hunger, and grants 10 sanity. It's nothing real special apart from a pseudo food not having negative effects, but if you're starving, it is actually one to keep in mind. But Muscle Bouillabaisse requires 2 mussels each time, along with the collection of 2 veggies each time, except not for corn, but it is something you really shouldn't be able to mess up. The food itself, though, heals for 20, gives 37.5 hunger, and 15 sanity a slurp. Once again, pretty darn flippin' good. But the creme de la creme, fresh fruit crepes. Bring together butter, honey, and you guessed it, fruit for a food item that heals for 60 whopping health, 150 whopping hunger, and the not so whopping but still a thing 15 sanity. Dishes like this, ones with high hunger benefits that is, are ones to commit to memory, everyone. Allow me to explain. Sure, Warley sits at 150 health, 250 hunger, and 200 sanity, so everything's normal and in order that- wait. What? 250 hunger? Holy stomach, that's a black hole. It sure is, friends, but Warley here loves eating so much that his hunger drains 33% faster than normal. So yeah, it's a black hole alright, and it is not easy to please. For you see, he is not about the raw food life. Warley only benefits from 70% of the effects of raw foods, meaning if it's not cooked or prepared in the crockpot, you are losing full stat regenerations. And this negative effect does rise to 80% when talking dry foods like jerky, but you're still wasting munchies, heals, and sanity by not properly feeding our pal here. At the very least, your food should always be cooked on the fire because then you'll benefit from 90% of the gains, still missing a full stat return, but it is better than the other options, of course. However, if that wasn't enough, the potential negative effects of food see an increase in their effectiveness depending on preparation too. The negative effects of raw foods is increased by 30%. That goes to 20% potential for dry foods, although that is kind of limited anyways. And that goes to 10% for cooked variants. Seems to me that our friend here really does have a refined palate. In that same vein, he likes variety, cause if all that wasn't enough, there is still a mechanic at play that can change everything. When you eat a food, a timer begins. Warley knows what he's just eaten and will crave other foods for 1.75 days following. During that time, you can choose to continue to eat the same meals, however each munch will see stat changes. The first time you repeat a meal, the stats go down by 10%. The second time you do, that goes to 20%. The third, 35%. The fourth, 50%, and the fifth by 70%. But after that, then you're just stuck with those stats for that food for 1.75 days. This is to force variety in players' diets, obviously, but remember, it's only 1.75 days, and for some foods, it's really not that big of a deal. But be very careful, however, as negative effects increase by these percentages too. If you don't pay attention, you could very easily eat yourself cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, or even worse, literally eat yourself to death. How do we combat this? Well, that's fairly simple. Just try not to stuff your face with the same foods more than twice at a time. And remember to actually cook your things before you munch on them. Sure, you'll lose some benefits while playing, I have no doubt there. But you can manage if you just not stuff your face with the same thing, like I said. However, the real answer lies with the crockpot. Warley gains 33% more from stat restorations of foods prepared in crockpots, so you got to broaden your culinary horizons while playing him. Or do you? Well, yes, you should. But here's a tip anyways. Creating meaty stews every 2 days can negate any of these obstacles we just discussed, as the food itself will grant well over 150 hunger as Warley, and will keep you full far more than enough time for that 1.75 day timer to dissipate entirely. I'm sure you'll need to eat more for health and sanity along the way, but if you can manage to extend your stomach for a little while, high hunger foods are an absolute must. Now, what's the deal with the chef pouch he spawns with? Well, for one thing, it is an immediate backpack that has 8 slots, but it also will slow the spoilage of food placed within it. It does so with 50% effectiveness, however it will not stop ice from melting, nor can it cool your thermal stones. Could you imagine if it did though? It'd be bloody frickin' amazing. Oh, and if you lose it or it bursts into flames following one of your failed dishes, you can craft another one via cloth and rope too. Warley has always said that nothing worthwhile has ever been done on an empty stomach, and you know, he's right there. You just gotta learn how to fill that stomach up. I have 3 totally separate videos on recipes within Don't Starve, all with timestamps, breakdowns, and images of every recipe available, so do yourself a favor and learn more than meatballs. At the very least, be sure to cook foods over a fire while playing Warley, but learn to master the art of the cook within a crockpot. Now this is for solo. We'll see what happens in Don't Starve together. But for now, thanks for watching everyone. Well wishes to all. I'll see you in exactly 1 week for said Warley's DSD introduction, and take care. Bye bye.